What is up, everybody? Welcome back. It is finally time. It is the second weekend in May, and it is time to get our summer gardens in the ground. We got all that stuff going on. I've been out of town working all week, but not only that, I come back home and I find this dogwood tree has snapped and broken over in the yard. We got to get that cleaned up. There is a long list of things we've got to get done around the farm this afternoon, not this afternoon, but this afternoon and all weekend long. So without further delay, let's roll that intro and let's get to it. All these dogwoods are 70 to 80 years old, and they're starting to slowly die on us, unfortunately. This one just snapped off at the ground level down. Looks like the root wad's dying and everything. So I'm going to get this cut up and cleaned out of the way. Then we're going to start working on other stuff up here before we start trying to get to the garden. For those who don't know, this is not poison ivy on this dogwood tree. This is actually Virginia creeper. I do have some poison ivy in some of the dogwoods up here, but this is actually Virginia creeper. Some people say they're allergic to it. I don't know, but it is not anywhere near like a poison ivy or poison oak is. So I'm just going to start cutting this stuff off as I go through and work our way through it. So we got the tree cleaned up here. That did not take that long, actually, and it gave me a chance to try to teach my son, Trey, how to use the chainsaw. He's never used one before. He's taken on a lot more responsibilities around here, and then over on the farm near us over here that he goes out and works. He works every day of the week. So Monday through Friday, I say every day of the week. He works Monday through Friday, 8 to noon over on their farm. And they've got several large greenhouses. He's helping them inside the greenhouses. If they need him to weed eat, he goes outside and weed eats and does all that kind of stuff. So he's never ran a chainsaw before, so this gave me a chance to try to explain the dynamics of a chainsaw, how to use one, how to evaluate each cut that you're making to make sure that you know exactly where it's going to go, whether you need to do a top cut, a bottom cut, to watch for kickbacks, all that kind of stuff. So this was an easy no here in the yard. Not big, easy to manage, so it just is a really good starter tree for him to cut his teeth on. No pun intended there. I don't know how that came out that way, but anyway. All right, well, I think they're about ready to start fixing dinner in there. After we finished the tree, though, I got on the tractor and the bush hog, and I bush hogged the fall and winter and early spring food plot over here down. I'm either going to put the plow or the ripper or something on and go through there and get that turned over a little bit and get that prepared for the summer food plot, or I may take the tractor over here into the woods and start working on this white oak tree that we had cut down several months ago. I need to get it moved. It's blocking my path through the woods. And I just need to get that out of the wet, get it sawed up, get it drying, curing for firewood for the coming winter. So go figure out what we're going to do about dinner, figure out what I'm going to do after that, and then we're going to start prepping for tomorrow, which is going to be the garden day. We got to get the tiller out, we got to get it in the back of the truck, we got to get all of our seeds and everything in the seeder, got to get everything ready to take down to the garden to get that done. Anyway, I'll catch up with you in a little bit. While I'm out here, I better go ahead and show you the box beds, the onion beds. You can see there's a few of the onions laid over in there. I really have no idea what happened. I took the row covering off earlier today just so that way they could get a little bit more sunlight exposure. They're doing really well. This is an assortment of radishes that I've got going down here. Over here, I've got some cabbage. Hey, Mia, get out of the bed. That might be why the onions are laid over right there. But I've got several. I got yellow Spanish and white Bermuda onions. And I've got some kale and filterkraut. And then some cauliflower over there. And the other onion bed up here, I left the row cover on that. I went through weeding inside and around the edge. Now I've got to come down here because it's rained so much. You'll see here on the edge. Everything's growing up around them. It's rained almost every day for the past 6 days roughly. And now this is in serious need of some mowing and weed eating to get everything cleared up over here. All right, everybody, we are down at the garden here. It is the next day, so we got up this morning and I took my son turkey hunting for the last time of the season, and then we had to get the yard mowed and all the weed eating done and all that sort of stuff. Now we're down here. My dad just came through and he just disked the garden. It's actually worked up really well in here, but I'm gonna go ahead and run the tiller all the way through it one more time, or a couple of times anyway, just to get the areas that we're going to start planting laid out. So I'm going to do that first, and then we'll come back to you in a little bit and kind of explain in a little bit more detail exactly what we're doing. All right, well, we are back home now, and I really didn't take a whole lot of time to video while we were down there because we were trying to get everything done and get back up here. We spent 3.5 hours down there putting that garden in. Rain was potentially coming in. We just checked the radar and it shows that it's almost here. We'll see if it really rains or not, who knows? But we need to get that garden in. We ended up putting in 100 row feet each of Blue Lake, Contender, and Landreth bush beans. So that's 300 row feet of beans. We put in 250 row feet of peaches and cream sweet corn. And then I put in about a 75-foot row of Clemson spineless okra. I've still got to go back later and till the rest of the garden with the walk behind tiller and get it prepped for the tomatoes, peppers, all the different squash, eggplant, that sort of stuff. But we just ran out of time and I was tired, honestly. So came on back up here, had to get everything unloaded from the truck, which was full of all of our planting gear, all of our tools, multiple rakes, because when we go through and when we do the tiller, we go behind and we rake everything out, so we're left with just a really fine layer of dirt so we can maximize our seed to soil contact and get better germination. Back in the day, I would just till it and go through and seed it, and my germination rates were terrible, and they were like 50%. But since we've started taking the time to till it and then go behind and rake it out to maximize seed to soil contact, it's made a world of difference in the germination success that we get. Anyway, this morning I said we mowed the yard up here and weed eated. The box bed area looks so much better now that I've got the weeds under control up here. I do need to water some stuff because it hasn't been unbearably hot today. This time last year when I did this same garden setup and what we did today, I did it all by myself, and it took me like 6 hours to do it all by myself. Today, thankfully, I had Amy and both kids out there helping, and it was so much faster. With Trey running the tiller, that helped a lot. Amy and Taryn helping me rake the rows out and pull the string and then run the seeder and then clean the seeder out between each seed set, each seed type row change. I mean, it was a huge help having them there to help get that all done. But now, let's hope this rain does come in. We've missed rain the last 2 days, thankfully, because it was so wet we didn't think we could actually work the garden. But the rains for the past 2 days have split and went north and south of us, and we managed to dry out enough to get the garden in today, or at least that part of the garden in. The tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, squash, that stuff, I'm going to wait a little bit. The tomatoes and peppers are not ready to go in the ground yet, and we've got plenty of time really for the squash and the eggplant, so I'm not really that concerned with it, and the pumpkins and cucumbers and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, yeah, so you see back here behind me, the box bed's back over here looking pretty good. I've still got the row cover on this one here. I'm going to see if there's any kind of a difference. And that's really the only reason I'm doing it, is to see if there's a difference in size of the onions. I can't really do that though because it's two different varieties. I don't know. We'll see how this works out. I may end up just taking it off just to make it easier for me to maintain and keep clean and keep the weeds out of it. I don't know. Anyway, that's probably going to be it for the most part today. I got to get in here. We've got to get some more stuff done inside, and it is dinner time. I am thirsty. I am extremely thirsty after being out here, but glad we got some success and got the garden in the ground today. And then I'll go back down and do a video of that here maybe tomorrow or in a few days to kind of give you an update on how that's going. And as soon as things start popping out of the ground, then I'll obviously do a video on that as well. So thank y'all so much for watching. Thank y'all so much. If you haven't yet, I'd appreciate it if you go in and you hit that subscribe button, drop a comment, let me know how your garden's going. Have a blessed day.